Okay, I'm back. My laptop died, but I just streamed an entire hour over on my video. So if you're looking for some stuff, go check out that video. We're gonna hop straight into the charts. I was getting some questions on the last video. Should you sell your Bitcoin right now? Um, don't ask somebody with 95 subs. Let's take a look at the charts. Okay, so this is the heat map. This is the 200 day. According to this map, which comes from the technical indicator called the 200 week moving average, the answer is no, we still have room to run. This is the 2-year MA multiplier. So 2-year MA is moving average, and then it takes these moving averages into accountability to get a good idea of where we possibly could be going. And saying this could potentially start to be the top over here. This isn't a very good indicator, but according to this, it says 57. Are we there yet? No, we're not there yet. And like I said, there's different things that can just blow us right past that. Stock to flow ratio, again, I'm colorblind, so I literally don't know what color this is, but I'm pretty sure it's like yellowish orange. So we should be like right around here. So is it time to sell yet according to stock to flow? No. Is it according to pi top indicator? Is it the time to sell? And like you got to understand that, I called the bottom of Bitcoin, and on every single graph, we've been calling the top on Ethereum, Bitcoin, Stellar. So I'm not just like some random guy on the internet. Maybe to you, I'm some random guy on the internet, but I definitely know what I'm talking about when it comes to crypto. So I just hear all these people talking about how they think it's going to be the top. I haven't sold a single penny, and we just hit another all-time high today. These people that don't know anything about crypto, stock to flow and everything, they think that 30,000, 20,000. They thought 16 was the top. Anyways, MA 350 MA. So this is moving average day 111. When this line crosses this line, essentially it's an indication of a top, but this is a lagging indicator. Then you have these different fib levels. The next fib level isn't until, if we were to hit it today, 62K. So a lot of things are saying that it's not the top. There's one chart. Is there one chart that's saying that we're getting close? And then if you go off of this, which is a lagging indicator, we could be relatively close to the top. So let's just take a look at Bitcoin though, and then I'll go back into XLM again. If everything in this video isn't what you're wanting to see, I just streamed an entire hour a few seconds ago. My laptop just died, so I was covering XLM, but let's take a quick look at Bitcoin, and it looks like people are saying, should I buy, should I sell? And a lot of these guys, I hate to say it, didn't put their life savings in at 11K at the bottom. And a lot of these guys get in at 20, sell at 30, get in at 30, sell at 40, and they just don't know, you know. So I've told you guys multiple times I haven't sold a penny, and I have videos saying to put your life savings in at 11K. So that's a pretty bold statement. So you have this level right here, which is absolutely significant. We have this level that we hit, which was absolutely significant. Next level, according to Fibonacci extension, is going to be 660. Now that doesn't necessarily, in and of itself, that doesn't mean through technical analysis that it's guaranteed going to hit 60. I think it will because of a lot of different reasons, but this Fibonacci extension alone does not mean that we're going to hit 60. This is just a potential price target if you're bullish on the price going up. So here's the real thing that I am concerned about is, I don't even think concerned is the right word, especially if we do hit this level and then retrace slightly. I don't think that that's anything to worry about. Really, the worrisome part of what makes me worried is if we do come down, what makes me worried is if we go hyperbolic and we get overextended and then we crash down. but potentially coming down to like 52, 49, 38 has a massive amount of support. I mean, look at all the support at 38 if we even came down there. But I've already gone over it so many times, like stock to flow, like everything on this channel. It just doesn't make sense for us to enter into a bear market this early. And if we do, like how short's that bear market going to be? Like what's the bear market bottom going to be? We're obviously not going to hit 10K again. Or if we, I mean, we, you know, just with how much money they're printing, it just doesn't seem possible is probably the better way to put it. It doesn't seem possible with how much, because they're about to print even more money, which is going to pump the markets even higher. But I'm not really going to get into all that. You just have the biggest experts saying that possibly 320K is the top. So, I mean, that says enough in and of itself. But, a correction, we would need to see, if you were talking about a correction, we would go to the weekly chart. And this is just kind of like degen. It's like, you know, this is why I'm here. So if you're thinking that like this is the top, you probably just need to sub to the channel and listen to what I'm saying. All right, so EMA 20, it's really the 21 is what people go off of, but it's the same thing off one day. So we could potentially retrace to here, but there's nothing, there's not a single indicator, there's nothing that's saying that we would retrace to 28. And really all we're looking at is stock to flow. I mean, more and more money's flowing into this space, no money's flowing out of it, and all the money in altcoins are going to eventually flow back into Bitcoin. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever that we would be at a top. Like, obviously, yeah, Bitcoin's gone up a bunch, but but that's what Bitcoin does. Let's see. Oh, that's the 12 month. That's a custom indicator. We go 6 months. That's a custom indicator. I guess we gotta go to the monthly. So that's just one little cycle. Oh, is Bybit not have enough information? But if you look at all the different cycles, like, yeah, Bitcoin goes up a lot. And it's only up 500% on this cycle. It's up 9 million% since it came out. So, I mean, we can look at fear and greed index. But it's just, there's literally nothing, in my opinion, that's showing that we're at the top right now. Fear and greed. We're at 91. We were at 92 last week, so we're down from last week. We're down from yesterday. Yeah, I mean, I think this puppy's still, as crazy as it sounds, I mean, if you weren't here like, months ago, like this thing hits 94, this thing hits 95, this thing hits 96. We're not there yet. I mean, you can talk about RSI being hot, but RSI can hit 90 and still be good in a bull run. We've seen it hit like almost 97, I think, and we're not even close to those levels right now. I mean, to me, there's just nothing that signifies anything other than a hold right now. I'm not saying Bitcoin's a buy. I'm not saying that it's a sell. I'm saying it's a hold. It's not financial advice. Not that we didn't out invest every single hedge fund, because we did. But, so I mean, take financial advice for what it's worth. Obviously not a lot. But Yeah, I mean, isn't Bitcoin just about to break another all-time high? I don't understand, and there's no resistance on it. I don't understand why you would pull out. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Potentially, if we do hit this area right here, like obviously this right here, like I was talking about earlier, like really what we're looking at when we're looking at this right here this is really where this started. This is a very, very massive um, Fibonacci trading channel, and it perfectly charts the uptrend, and we see perfectly how well this thing is charted. Well, these are where it started out. So this is actually the channel right here, and the channel actually ends right here, and then right here is actually the like the end of it. So this is like the beginning of it, and then this is the end of it. So potentially you have all this price action right here. You have all this price action right here that would, when we do hit this area potentially, we could see some resistance, but we're not even there yet. And we already broke this area right here. So before pulling out, like I would use some technical analysis. I don't think it's smart whatsoever to just pull out without even using technical analysis, because is it possible for us to just do some massive dump? Well, obviously when the stock market crashes and stuff, but like if, when, whatever, but there has to be a reason for us to just go down massively. And because we hit this Fibonacci area, like I wouldn't just sell right now. Like it doesn't make any, it literally makes absolutely no sense. If we were to hit this level right here and break this level as support, I mean, does that mean that we can't find support? Well, we could obviously find support on every single moving average because they're all below us, because we're extremely bullish, because we're in a bull run on an uptrend on every single level. But so all these moving averages could literally catch it just on the hourly chart alone. But my point is this: if you like, the problem and the reason why this YouTube channel exists is because we're not like degen freaking like I heard some kid talk to me today about Dogecoin and how he made $600 from it, and I said that Dogecoin doesn't have any intrinsic value, and he said I made $600 from it. And then I told him how much I made today off of my crypto holdings, and I think it made him cry. I don't know, but that was just being honest. I'm like, you can invest in Dogecoin, but that's not an investment. But my point is this: there's a lot of degens in the crypto space. There's a lot of degens that just throw money into the market. They have no clue what they're doing, and then they pull out and they make a few money, and they lose some money. And what, like, if you're gonna sell, like at least sell based off a technical analysis. At least wait for this level to come down and you lose like whatever percent, like and if you got in like right here and you're already looking to sell, like that's just I'm just so perplexed by the community. But if you have to sell for some absurd reason, at least wait for this massive Fibonacci retracement extension area to break. So the price action would have to come down here, break this area, and then you could sell if you really wanted to. But there's so much different support levels that would potentially catch it, and it looks like we just got some crosses. Yeah, right here, we just got a cross, so that's bullish. Yeah, we got a nice cross right there. We had a cross right here earlier, and it looks like we might have some crosses on the higher time frames too. So I mean, you can do whatever you want, but if you're talking to somebody like me that's called the price action accurately every single time since the beginning, literally, like if it's blowing my mind why I can't think of a single reason why you would sell, I'm not necessarily telling anybody to buy, but if it's blowing my mind that I can't think of a single reason, there's another cross right there, which is good. If it's blowing my mind why you would sell, then it's probably not a good idea to sell if I can't think of a single reason looking at every single indicator. If it's not like, oh, it's kind of shaky. If it's blowing my mind, if I've traded $400,000 in profits, over 400,000 conservatively, and it's blowing my mind that you would potentially be thinking about selling, maybe that's not a good idea. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but like I said, you really don't want to turn cryptocurrency in. This is definitely becoming a legitimate asset. You don't want to turn it into this degenerate gambling, whatever you would call it. And I see that with so many people. They just throw money into this market. They have no clue what they're doing, and then they just pull out randomly, and that's not investing. You have another potential cross right here on the daily. But I mean, coming up to this area, we could see some resistance coming up to this area. We could see some resistance coming up to this area, coming up to this area, but we haven't even hit them yet. So unless we're breaking a major level, like this fib level, or unless we're finding resistance at a major level, it doesn't even make sense to be scared enough to sell. And yeah, let's see. I got you. I'm going to hold. I got some bad advice in a Telegram group. Are you in Carl the Moon's Telegram group? You know they joke around a lot in that group. You know they're all like messing around with people, right? That's like the worst Telegram group ever. They're not, because like it's not even like, I'm not telling you my opinion because I don't want to even tell you my opinion. Like, just look at this 200-week moving average heat map. We're not even close to the top. You see, the top is where you get these red, and you get this red, and as soon as we go into the red, it's like, okay, you're looking to sell. So but it's not just like this is some random map. No, this takes into accountability the technical analysis. Like, so this is an actual thing we use. This is one of the most valuable, and because it's on the 200 and it's on the higher time frame, this is one of the most important indicators on one of the highest time frames. Not only type of indicator, moving average, but 200 week is like the most important moving average in cryptocurrency, essentially, because it's not the 21, it's not the 30 day, it's the weekly on the 200 day, which is massive. And so that's why it's so important, and that's why so many people talk about it. And right here, we're just like right here, back when it was only 5,000, and then it ran all the way up to 11 right here, and that was in 2018. Right here, we're at this level where it was essentially 290, and then it ran all the way up and almost, it basically 4x'd. Now, I don't think we're going to see something that massive because this was earlier on in development, but potentially seeing a double is easily possible. But don't take my word for it. When you look at the stock to flow map, when you look at the pi cycle, now this is, in all fairness, a lagging indicator. When you look at the logarithmic charts, and these are Fibonacci extension levels with the key right here. So like potentially we hit this level right here is potentially the top, and then as we go out, it potentially goes higher and higher. And I guess one more thing I'll show you is the rainbow chart, because people like the rainbow chart. But this is just like basic fundamentals. Let me see what Telegram group you're in. A lot of the times, like these Telegram groups, they're not like. Let me know what Telegram group you're in. But a lot of these Telegram groups, they're not like they don't have any accountability. On this channel, we've traded nothing but profits, and we show you the trades. We show you multitudes of trades that we're profitable on. We show you the calls. We can't make anything up. You go look at, when I bought Ethereum. You go look at when I bought Bitcoin. You go look at when I bought Cardano. You go look at when we got Link. When we were 100% accurate on these channels. When you go in the Telegram group, they don't have any accountability. They don't have any validity. They're just full of it, you know what I mean? Especially when you're talking about some random people on Carl the Moon's channel. All right, well, I guess I'll just take a look at one more. So, Rainbow. Because a lot of people like this one because it's so simplistic. And then we'll just go. But this is very basic stuff. I wouldn't even really. I would question if you don't understand this stuff. Like, you probably shouldn't be investing to begin with. If you don't understand your investment, at the very least, like, absolutely mandatory you subscribe to the channel. If you don't know what you're doing, at least I do. Whoa, that is trippy. All right, there we go. It's not letting us zoom in. So right now we're in this area we just left. Is this a bubble? And now we're looking at potentially entering into what's called FOMO intensifies. And then according to the rainbow chart, if we were today hit 86,000, if we were today hit 86,000, then it would be like, oh, sell at this price. Well, as we continue, because we constantly consolidate, as we continue to go further and further, in this chart, consolidating, moving higher, these prices aren't going to always be, you have FOMO intensifies at $163. You have seriously sell at 217. You know what I'm saying? So, and what a lot of the biggest experts in the space are saying is, we could potentially, really just move in between these levels, and then as the months continue, potentially the top would be like potentially around 300,000. This is what like the biggest experts in the space are saying. And if that's the case, then we're going to consolidate down. We're not just going to drop down. We're going to consolidate down. And if that is the case, you couldn't even really measure it with this rainbow chart that they have currently. But essentially, if we were to consolidate down, the bottom of the next cycle would be all the way at 46,000. So, I mean, according to the experts in the space, this, what like around 50,000 would be the bottom of the next cycle. So literally, if you were buying right now in long-term holding, worst case scenario, whatever happens, you're basically accumulating at the bottom of the next cycle. It's going to be like from this cycle, it called 5,000 as the bottom. So you literally, what's 5,000 now to almost 52? That's like a 10x. Back in 2015, they were saying the fire sale was like $200. And then, there was a very long bear market, and then it went all the way up to 16,000. So what's $200 to 16,000? It's all perspective. It's all time perspective. You have to realize that Bitcoin's gone up 9 million% since it was created. And so these numbers might seem high, they're all arbitrary, and you really have to look at the graphs, you really have to look at the facts on the charts, you really have to look at the historical data from the halving events, you have to look at all these things, you have to look at the fear and greed index, and even though it seems high, and it is relatively high, for the current state we're in, it's just not. Even FOMO intensifies, we're not even there yet, and that would be if we hit 64 today. I mean, you can play around with that yourself, but I mean, it's just one graph. Don't go off of your entire investment. The moon. NM crypto. I love NM crypto. I love the moon, but NM crypto, he is saying that the top is going to be 320, I believe, when he did an interview with BitBoy, and then BitBoy, I believe, said 330. Carl the Moon says that the price is most likely going to go much higher in the long term, and I think he had like a $70,000 prediction by the end of the month, something like this. And then MDX Trading, I'm not sure about them, but Carl is definitely very bullish on crypto. NM Crypto is very, so when you're looking at their Telegram groups, like it's just like people that are just like, like I said, like those trading those Telegram groups are a joke. Um, and I mean that not in a mean way. I literally mean they are a joke. Like literally when those kids are posting, they know that they are purposely doing that. It is literally a joke to them. So, let's see. So yeah, I would never take financial advice from some random. They act like 12-year-olds on, like they literally act like 12-year-olds on that. It's just ridiculous. And so yeah, I would never take financial advice from a bunch of degens that just all hopped into crypto screaming buy Dogecoin. Just ridiculous. But yeah, Carl the Moon's like very accurate. NM Crypto very accurate, and but they personally have not said anything close to we're at a top. I mean, I'm not saying don't follow those guys. What I'm saying is all the random people. It doesn't take anything to get in that group. They don't even scan people. Like if you go into that Martini guys trading group, you have to get scanned in. You have to take a picture of yourself so that they like know it's not just some random bot or whatever. Carl, what is his name? Crypto Jeb, like same thing. Like they don't just like allow random people in. You have to get invited in. Carl the Moon, you can get in a second. There's no credibility. All right, let's see if we have some other charts. So right now we're looking at Bybit. Let's take a look at Coinbase. When we looked at this chart earlier, it looks good. We talked about all the potential with, but like for example, when you look at the high likelihood, like this is on the daily chart, and you have this right here, this wick, and then you have this right here, this candle body touch, candle body touch, candle body touch. Very clear trend line right here. The possibility of it coming down here and bouncing and that being extremely bullish is very high. The possibility of it, coming and jumping all the way up here as time progresses, it's very high. Now, if you were to sell at maybe, at the top of this wedge, because you're like, oh, well, what if we get rejected and come down? You can do that, but I'm still long-term bullish on the asset. And like I said, what you don't want to do is you don't want to hop out right here and then hop back in at like 80K. That would just be ridiculous. You would sell yourself short and you would be coming in at an extreme disadvantage, because could the price go up more? Yeah, it could, but risk to reward ratio, you're just fighting an extreme uphill battle that you don't want to be fighting. So, I mean, I told you guys my strategy for getting out of the market, and I guess at this point I need to make a separate video on it. So, we were looking at this earlier, and somebody was like, we were looking at this trade right here, and somebody's like, it was in the middle, the price action was in the middle, and they're like, should I trade this? And I said, we're in the middle, don't trade it right now. And then it broke to the downside, and I said, see, don't trade it, you don't know what's going to happen. Well, when you look at it more on the macro time frames, where you adjust these levels right here, so you're on the daily. So you take this right here, which is clearly, this is called the anchor or the pivot point, just depending on who you ask. And then you take this trend line that you have on the pivot point or the anchor point, and you line it up right here. And look at, you get that touch point right there, and then you get this 1, 2 on top of these. But if you, so this is, 2 wicks and 2 bodies. If you wanted to do all bodies, it would look like beautiful. Yeah, and I mean that's just perfect right there. And you get the wick involved on it also. Yeah, so that just looks gorgeous right there. But if these trend lines are not even broken, these are major trend lines. This is on the daily. So, I mean, if these trend lines were to break, if the price action was to come down to these levels, that would be concerning. But we're not there yet. We haven't even broke the fib level to my understanding. It looks like we're just setting all-time highs on top of all-time highs on top of all-time highs, not even on Bitcoin, but also on total. So this was, I believe, was this the top? I don't remember. I think this was the top earlier, and then it broke through that level. I'm almost positive. And we're already up even more. And so if money's constantly flowing into the space, and eventually if altcoin season ends and like people aren't speculating so much on altcoins and they want to be safe and put their money back into Bitcoin, a massive amount of all the market cap, this, one, what is this, 1688 dollar or billion dollars, the percentage of that if you go to Bitcoin dominance. So you would have another like 37% of that amount coming back into Bitcoin potentially. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever for the Bitcoin to be going down. It just doesn't, like in the short term, yes. Is there a possible correction? Yes, but that just makes Bitcoin more bullish, like on the logarithmic chart, because as we continue to go out, it factors in things like the 200 moving average, and then it also factors in things like RSI, which I've talked about a lot on this channel. So if we were to potentially, this is still in May, this is just, a small later day of May, you potentially have the high as, an additional 12,000, a little over 12,000. If that makes sense, like it's just so ridiculous to say that this is the high right here. If you're thinking like, oh, is Bitcoin maxed out right now? You just really, really need to sub to the channel, and that's for your own safety. And then the last one, where would you learn to do TA? This channel is going to be the best place to learn TA by far. We cover everything. We cover a lot more TA than any other channel. And we have like extreme accuracy. So by far, this channel, and I think you already subbed to the channel, but this channel and watching me do TA is going to be your best bet by far, because I cover everything you need to know, not what I want to show you, but what you need to know. And then I read a bunch of textbooks. I took multiple courses. I practiced a lot. I thought about it. I already did stocks before this, and was involved in real estate. And so I already had some prior knowledge on like leverage and assets and like how to accumulate and whatever. And then with stocks, obviously. But I read a bunch of books. Like I would read a book just on Fibonacci levels. So like an entire book just about Fibonacci. And when you go over to TradingView, this section right here where it says Fib channel, Fib wedge, Fib arc, Fib spirals, Fib circles, Fib trend based Fib time, Fib time zone, Fib speed resistance fan, There was one book that I read that literally covered in depth all of these and exactly how they work, because it's not just necessarily anybody can put down a Fibonacci retracement and look at the levels, but if you don't understand that it's meant to retrace to that level before potentially breaking higher, or if like just seeing the price action interact with one of these different indicators is not enough. Like, you have to entirely understand, how it works. And so it takes a lot of education. It takes a lot of practice. I was probably studying 18-hour days, and I came up pretty quick on it after years. So yeah, I would spend the entire day learning constantly for over a year. And that's with experience. That's with experience on stocks already. And like, if you go back to my videos on stocks, when I do technical analysis on stocks, that's even, so probably like, if you want to like trade like how I confidently I trade in with like 100% accuracy, it would probably take like 80-hour probably week, or probably 80-hour weeks, yeah, for like a year or two. So, and most people don't have that time because they have like a job or school or something. So if you didn't have the time and you were doing your full-time job and studying analysis, it would probably take like 4 years probably, at least. So it takes time to learn. Like, it's not like, but to be on my level, it would take that much time, because like I said, I obsessed over it and was working on it so much for so long. But if you just want to trade profitably, if you really applied yourself, you could start potentially making decent trades in a month if you really apply yourself. You spend a lot of time working on the charts, like a lot of time. Really, the best thing you could do is just watch this channel, because I'm going to give you everything you need to know. Most people have jobs and lives and stuff and don't have time to do what I do and really take the time to learn, because these charts, they don't draw themselves. And it's one thing to be able to know how to do all this, it's another thing to actually interpret it and know exactly what you're doing. And like, anybody can draw like any of this stuff, but you have to know when to draw it, how to draw it, and how it's used. And it sounds easy, but it's an art on top of a science to figure out when to draw the fib, because like, anybody knows, like, potentially if you take like a Fibonacci extension, anybody knows swing low to swing high, but it's like, from what swing low to what swing high. You have a swing high right here and a swing low right here. You have a swing high right here and a swing low right here. So it is an art on top of a science. And I was dropping out of pharmacy school to do this, so I was already a really, really smart kid. My pharmacy, one of my pharmacy instructors was saying that I was a know-it-all and stuff. So, I mean, obviously I was a really smart kid. I was answering all the questions on accelerated courses, and I left college with a 3.6, and that was like poor performance on my end. So I was already a really smart kid, and that was taking advanced classes like psychopathology and things. So if you're not like medical, like student level, it might take you like 8 years to get on this level. But if you just want to trade profitably, if you're a little bit slower, it might take you like 2 months, 3 months if you really, really apply yourself. But so that is just really all that says to me. Telling you that is that take it slow. Like, I see people taking 10x leverage trades. I see people taking whatever x leverage trades. That's just arrogant. That's just ridiculous. That's just going to get you liquidated. That's just, being cocky. And whether you think you're cocky or not, in my opinion, being arrogant is, having an excessive belief in your own abilities. And if you're doing a 10x leverage trade and you're newer to trading, that's, again, if you don't know if you can't like easily draw out all these charts and know what all this means, then in my opinion that's being extremely cocky and arrogant. Because like right here, would I take a 10x leverage trade? Absolutely not. There's nothing even to trade. There's no patterns. So it doesn't even make sense. So if somebody was to take a trade right here and say that they were, knew the market so well that they knew that from right here it was just going to go up, like to me that just means arrogance. And I mean, do I care? I don't care whatsoever. I'm well paid. Um, I couldn't care less what anybody did. At the end of the day, it's just coming out of your wallet. So, like trying to humble yourself and really being conservative with your trades, if you even make trades. And I mean, I would recommend at least if you're slow, 2 months without doing a trade, just learning. And if you're really smart and you're really applying yourself, like doing 40-hour work weeks, learning this, like 40 hours a week learning this, then I would start my trade in like a month and go extremely low leverage with extremely small amount of capital in cost-based average in, cost-based average out. But really, you want to be buying in things like this if you don't know what you're doing. And like I said, so just follow the channel, learn from me. I didn't become a YouTuber to make money. I made money. I made a lot of money. I made it really quick. And I'm like, wow, I'm so good at like real estate. I'm so good at stocks. I'm so good at crypto. I want to help people out. And that's why I made the channel. So it wasn't the other way around. A lot of people come into YouTube trying to teach somebody like a bunch of crap to get rich. And I'm chilling. I think my Cardano is possibly going to retire me next year just doing the conservative math. And so I don't really need the money. So it's just like, yeah. So that's what I would recommend.